There are many intriguing old ruins spread over the globe, ranging from decaying towns to temples that have endured the test of time. A great deal of these prehistoric cultures were very inventive and progressive. Just see their amazing engineering achievements and careful urban design, some of which we still don't completely comprehend. Even the most inquisitive brains will be perplexed by the thousand-year-old riddles found in some of the most fascinating ancient ruins. Let's take a look at the top 20 most amazing ancient ruins of the world. Number 20. Ayutthaya. Ayutthaya is a historical city that was first established as a Khmer military and commercial center in 1350. This bustling trade port quickly rose to prominence as Thailand's historic capital. Until Burmese invaders set it on fire, it retained this distinction for 4 centuries. The great bulk of the city's temples and artifacts were destroyed since so many of them were made of wood. Approximately 50 stone temples and antiquities have survived the fire and are still visible today. Discovering Ayutthaya's blend of Siamese, Sri Lankan, and Khmer architecture has grown in popularity as a day excursion from Bangkok since renovations began in the 1970s. Number 19. Stonehenge. One of the most well-known ancient ruin sites in the world is unquestionably Stonehenge, which is scattered over Wiltshire, England's Salisbury Plain. These intriguing stone rings are among the planet's oldest stone constructions, having been in existence for more than 5,000 years. Built from sandstone, they are shrouded in secrecy. It's still mostly a mystery who created them and why. There are 2 widely accepted ideas that suggest Stonehenge was utilized for religious ceremonies or for other purposes, such as keeping track of the sun and moon's movements. Given that exploring Stonehenge's remains only takes 2 hours, a day excursion from London is sometimes coupled with a visit to Windsor or Bath. Number 18. Sigiriya. In Sri Lanka, Sigiriya is an old stronghold set into a 200-meter-tall rock wall, the intriguing remnants of an ancient civilization, believed to have been the capital of the kingdom of Kassapa, are perched atop what is today known as Lion Rock. Its heyday featured a lion-shaped entryway, a mirror wall with breathtaking vivid murals, and a citadel. The capital was deserted and converted into a Buddhist monastery after the king's death. The vistas of Sigiriya's walls, terraced gardens, and cave shrines make the strenuous climb worthwhile, even though it's not for the faint of heart. Number 17. Masada. Perhaps one of the most striking ruin sites on the earth is the old castle of Masada. The location, which is eerily gorgeous, is perched on a rock overlooking the Dead Sea and the Judean desert in Israel. It was constructed thousands of years ago as King Herod's palace. It had contemporary creature comforts, including private swimming pools and a bathhouse. The massive structure is most known for hosting the last stand of the Jewish revolt, in which the rebels chose death over a life of Roman enslavement. The vistas are worth the strenuous hike up one of the 2 paths, which is made more difficult by the intense heat. Number 16. Hampi. Hampi was one of the richest cities in India during the Middle Ages and the second largest after Beijing. There are now just crumbling remnants of what was once the vibrant heart of the Karnataka Empire, complete with temples and royal palaces. Once a little religious settlement along the river, the old capital was established in the 14th century by a pair of lords. Highlights include the main temple with its sculptures of bizarre-looking sea animals, the House of Victory, the Vithala Temple with its stone chariot and melodic pillars, and the temple that functioned as the personal place of worship for the royal family. Number 15. Tulum. The ruins of Tulum are the remnants of an old Mayan fortification perched atop a cliff, approximately 1 hour's drive from Cancun. The views are breathtaking, with walls surrounding it on 3 sides and the Caribbean Sea on the 4th. Although Tulum was founded in 564 AD, its heyday was in the 13th and 14th centuries. It served as a significant commerce hub for cocoa beans, cotton, and jade. In addition to the major draw, the El Castillo Pyramid, check out the stunning fresco inside the Temple of the Frescoes and swim at Tulum's hidden beach, which is ringed by iguanas and palm trees. Number 14. Ephesus. Located in western Turkey, the ancient city of Ephesus is home to some of the most spectacular Greek and Roman remains on Earth. Enormous as the Temple of Artemis originally stood there, it dates back to more than 2,000 years. However, the level of immersion these ruins offer is what really sets them apart. You are able to walk through, touch, and step on every component of the city, which sets it apart from many other protected archaeological sites. Highlights include Hadrian's Temple, the Library of Celsus, and a number of historic public restrooms. The Great Theater of Ephesus, the biggest outdoor theater in antiquity, has 25,000 seats and is located there as well. Number 13. Ellora Caves. A collection of caverns, monasteries, and temples hewn into the side of a basalt rock make up the Ellora Caverns. There are only 34 public caves out of a total of 100. Ellora, which is in Maharashtra, India, was created over the course of 5 centuries by Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain monks. It was first built in 600 AD. The Kailasa Temple is the focal point of the Ellora Caves. It is the world's biggest monolithic sculpture, dedicated to Lord Shiva. Not to be missed is the enormous preaching Buddha at Carpenter's Cave, so named because the rock there resembles polished wood. Number 12. Pompeii. A collection of caverns, monasteries, and temples hewn into the side of a basalt rock make up the Ellora Caverns. There are only 34 public caves out of a total of 100. Ellora, which is in Maharashtra, India, was created over the course of 5 centuries by Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain monks. It was first built in 600 AD. The Kailasa Temple is the focal point of the Ellora Caves. It is the world's biggest monolithic sculpture, dedicated to Lord Shiva. Not to be missed is the enormous preaching Buddha at Carpenter's Cave, so named because the rock there resembles polished wood. Number 11. Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza, one of the most well-known archaeological monuments on the planet, was formerly a bustling metropolis on the Yucatan Peninsula. When Mayapan emerged as the new capital of the area in 1221, the 600 AD Mayan construction was abandoned. One of the main attractions is the Temple of Kukulkan, a massive stone pyramid that has 365 steps for each day of the year and 4 stairways that symbolize a compass. The greatest times to visit are around the spring or fall equinox, when the sun plays tricks on the pyramid staircases. The Wall of Skulls, the Ball Court, and the Sacred Cenote, which was formerly the location of human sacrifice, are additional must-see locations. Number 10. Karnak. The sheer enormity of the Karnak temple complex in Luxor, Egypt, makes it stunning. Spread across a landmass greater than most ancient cities, it is peppered with shrines, obelisks, and temples. The construction took more than 2 millennia, and every Egyptian pharaoh left their distinctive architectural imprint. Venture down the Sphinx Avenue and explore the Great Hypostyle Hall. This massive chamber, adorned with tall pylons and sturdy sandstone columns, is among the most well-known and frequently captured sites in ancient Egypt. Take some time to appreciate the surrounding granite scarab and the sacred lake while you're here. Number 9. Borobudur. The world's biggest Buddhist temple, Borobudur in Indonesia, is made of an astounding 2 million slabs of volcanic stone. It was first discovered in the 9th century and eventually fell into ruin before being found again in the 1800s. It has since been brought back to its previous splendor and is especially well-liked in the morning. 3 circular platforms sit above 6 square platforms that make up the Borobudur monument. From the base of the pyramid, an enlightenment route ascends via the world of forms, the realm of formlessness, and the 3 levels of Buddhist cosmology. It is adorned with 500 Buddha sculptures and more than 2,000 reliefs, each of which summarizes a different Buddhist doctrine. Number 8. Acropolis. The Parthenon, atop the Acropolis, dominates the city of Athens and is visible from every location in the city. The Acropolis, which Pericles first constructed and called home in the 5th century BC, gradually changed into a temple city. These historic buildings were made of marble, metal, and in certain cases gold plating. Scaffolding may still be in place, but restorations are still going on. The Acropolis Museum is well worth a visit while you're here because many of the original items have been moved there. Number 7. Teotihuacan. One of the most well-known Aztec archaeological sites is Teotihuacan, which is situated outside of present-day Mexico City, but it wasn't really constructed by the Aztecs. There are a lot of possibilities, but nobody is actually certain who did. When the Aztecs discovered the abandoned city, they did, however, give it a name and claim it as their own. It was once the biggest metropolis in the Western Hemisphere, with several residential complexes and pyramids. The Temple of the Sun and the Temple of the Moon, its 2 recognizable pyramids, are now the main attractions. Explore the Citadel and the Temple of the Feathered Serpent while taking a leisurely stroll down the Avenue of the Dead. Number 6. Petra. Thousands of years ago, nomadic people chiseled a settlement called Rose City of Petra out of the pink sandstone cliffs. It's hard to imagine the city, which is in Jordan and nestled between the Red and Dead Seas, was once home to verdant gardens, opulent homes, and lively marketplaces. Alternatively, you may discover hidden tombs, temples, and abandoned caverns inside the city walls by taking a stroll or riding a camel through the ruins of Petra. One of the most stunning sights in the ancient city is the 2-story treasury cut out of the rock face. Just the front is worth seeing, but the inside, with its Indiana Jonesy royal tomb, is quite interesting. Number 5. Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is the world's longest man-made structure, spanning 15 provinces and autonomous territories in China. It was constructed as a barrier against invaders throughout the period of 6 Chinese dynasties and is composed of several isolated portions of walls and moats. Some sections of the wall, which is now well over 2,000 years old, are in ruins. It's interesting to note that traversing the whole length of the Great Wall of China would take around 18 months for anybody who wished to do it. Number 4. Angkor. Angkor was a prosperous ancient city that served as the seat of the Khmer Empire from the 9th to the 15th century. The Hindu Angkor Wat Temple, which has the distinction of being the biggest religious temple on earth, is the reason the city is most well known today. It is renowned for being visited at dawn, when the temples are illuminated in an enchanting way. But beyond Angkor Wat, the Angkor Archaeological Park is home to a plethora of other amazing sites. There are more than 1,000 temples dispersed over the farmlands, rice paddies, and forests. Highlights include the 12th century Bayon Temple, which represents the historical core of the ancient city of Angkor Thom, and the jungle-covered Tomb Raider Temple, where trees are sprouting out of its remains. Number 3. Machu Picchu. One of the most well-known towns of the former Incan Empire is Machu Picchu, a major check off the travel bucket list. This ancient stronghold is concealed amid Peru's highlands. In fact, it was so cleverly disguised that the Spanish invaders that arrived in the 1500s never found it. Only by coincidence did American explorer Bingham uncover them in 1911. A marvel of modern engineering, it is believed that 60% of the building was subterranean, mostly for drainage and defense. These fortified remains are only accessible by train or foot these days. For a behind-the-scenes peek into the lost city of the Incas, make sure to visit the Machu Picchu Museum. Number 2. Colosseum. The Colosseum, one of the most famous Roman remains, was formerly a gladiatorial arena. The 50,000-seat amphitheater was built around 80 AD and hosted a variety of events. These featured gladiatorial bouts in which fighters would fight to the death and animal fights. Even by modern standards, the Colosseum's architecture is remarkable. Ionic, Doric, and Corinthian columns are above 3 tiers of archways that comprise the exterior walls. During its peak, marble sculptures were used to embellish them. There formerly was a massive awning supporting the upper level, shielding onlookers from the weather. Number 1. Giza. The pyramids of Giza in Cairo are one of the world's most intriguing ancient structures and are incredibly interesting. There is a lot of conjecture regarding the construction of these massive tombs, which were constructed during the 4th dynasty in ancient Egypt as tombs for the pharaohs. They're just another amazing example of the exquisite precision and detail of ancient Egyptian engineering. Over time, several tomb robbers were drawn to these chambers, which were utilized as burial sites and brimming with valuables for the pharaoh to utilize in the afterlife. It is practically required to take a kissing photo with the Sphinx, so don't forget to do it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on our latest videos.